My name is James Emptage and I wrote the poem called Birthdays. And our teacher said that we could enter a competition and it could be a poem or a story. And I decided to do a poem. So then when we had some time to think about it, I heard two of my classmates arguing about a birthday, so I thought I'd do something about that. So I wrote it up and it took me a day to do it in rough, and then I did it neatly the next day. And here's my poem, Birthdays.
I'm not going to invite you to my party.
Why not?
Because you didn't invite me to yours.
Well, I didn't invite you to mine because I don't like you.
Why don't you like me?
Because you never invited me to your party.
OK, I will invite you to my party.
And I will invite you to my party.
OK, when's yours?
Tomorrow. And when's yours?
It was yesterday.
This is BBC Two in Words and Pictures.
Words and Pictures Plus! Hello! I've just made these 3 goldfish, and they're called Splish, Splash, and Splosh. And amazingly, over here, this book I've got is called Splish, Splash, Splosh. Now, I wonder what this book is going to be about. Let's have a look at the cover for some clues. Now, here's a picture of a child wearing a sou'wester, which is a kind of a rain hat, and his raincoat and Wellingtons. They've got eyes on them, look. And he's splashing about in the puddles with his dog. And underneath the title, it says, A Book About Water. Now, do you think that this book is going to be fiction, that's a story that's made up, or non-fiction, that's information and facts which are true? Well, let's have a look inside to find out. Now, this looks fun. The boy's on the beach, and he's dressed up as a pirate with a flag of the Jolly Roger, and he's eating his ice cream. Looks like strawberry ice cream. And his dog's having a sunbathe too. Ooh, so this looks like a nice story. But over here, let's see what it says. Splish, splash, splosh. Waves hit the beach. They come roaring in, only to trickle away. Where do they come from, and where do they go? And then underneath that, it says, waves are caused by the winds and tides. And that line is actually written in the shape of a wave. So I think that this book is a mixture of fiction and non-fiction, which is actually very clever. And so is this.
Stretch. Stretch.
Stretch.
Stretch.
Stretch.
We stretch and warm up our bodies before we
Spring, 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 spring. Spring, spring, spring.
we spring on the trampoline to practice our moves before we splash. 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 Stretch, spring and splash. Stretch, spring, splash.
If you want to learn how to dive safely, then you need a good teacher and to practice a lot.
Stretch, spring,
and splash.
That was very clever. Now I wonder what this book is going to be about. Well, it looks as though this giraffe is eating something quite prickly. You can see these thorns sticking out from the branches. Well, they're actually leaves from an acacia bush. And can you see these little round brown things? Well, they're called galls. That's a funny word, isn't it? Galls. Well, this book is all about what happens to the giraffe and the acacia bushes and the thorns and the galls. And it's set in Africa, where the weather is very hot. And it's called Whistling Thorn.
Long ago, on the grasslands of Africa, there grew acacia bushes. They were the favorite food of giraffes and rhinos. Giraffe stretched out his long tongue and grasped the juicy, rich leaves. Rhino nibbled contentedly. The bushes were many, but so, in those far-off days, were the giraffes and rhinos. Even the tiniest acacia buds were eaten. Rhino, like all his fellow rhinos, rested for hours in the shade each day, and only wandered to the acacias when he felt very hungry. The rhinos never ate any bush long enough to do real harm. But the giraffes ate constantly. They could reach even the highest branches, taking far too much from each bush. As time passed, the acacias grew sharp thorns, some shaped like galls. Ants smelled sweet acacia nectar and came to make their nests. They made entrance holes in the galls. The wind came blowing across the savannah and piped through the holes like the music of 1,000 flutes. The sound of whistling thorns. One day, a hungry giraffe was tugging at the acacia shoots, relentlessly shaking the thorny branches. He rocked the gall homes. Frenzied ants scrambled out, crawling in a steady stream all over the giraffe's muzzle, stinging as they went. They climbed around the giraffe's eye, irritating him so much that he could stand it no longer. He moved on, shaking the ants free. The same fate awaited each giraffe. One by one, spurred on by stinging ants, they moved quickly to other whistling thorn bushes. Now, the bushes had time to grow fresh leaves, while the giraffes and rhinos could still eat their favorite food. A warm breeze washed over them as they grazed under the hot savanna sun, and flute music flowed from the whistling thorns.
Now, each of these words begins with 3 sounds very close together. Listen as I read them. Stretch. Spring. Splash. Scream. Now, I've got some finger strips here with some letters on, and what I'm going to do is make the beginning of one of these words, and I want you to guess which one it is. So here we go. Right. Oh yes, this is a good one. There we are. Right. Split. Split. Did you get it? It was splash. Great. Let's do another one. Oh yes, good. Here we are. And stretch. Yeah. Did you get it? It was stretch. Great. Oh, some string. Let's see where this goes. Ooh, a straw hat. I'll just take that, thank you very much, Dino. Thanks. How do I look? Let's follow the string some more. Ooh, a guitar with some strings that I can strum. Great. Now, let's follow the strings some more. Ah, Jim's computer. Let's say hi to Jim. Hi, Jim. Jim is fit. He works out.
Jim can stretch.
Stretch.
He can spring up and down. Spring. And Jim can splash. Splash. Jim can stretch the word splash.
Splash. Splash. Splash. Splash.
Jim can break the word splash into 5 sounds.
Splash. 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 Splash.
Which word was Jim saying? Splash. The first 3 sounds in splash are
Sp. 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 Sp.
and the letters for those sounds are
S. P. L.
Okay, Jim, I know you can spring too. The first 3 sounds of spring are
Sp. 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 Spr. Spr. Spr.
Say the letter names with Jim.
S. P. R.
Thanks, Jim. Oh, have a good stretch. The first 3 sounds of stretch are
Str. 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 Str.
Say the letter names with Jim.
S. T. R.
Thanks, Jim. Now, watch how Magic Pencil writes those 3 letters. Try to blend the sounds as Magic Pencil writes.
This puppet is made from straws and string. And I've called him Mr. Stringfellow. Hello! Mr. Stringfellow can stretch and spring. Spring. After the programme, you could try writing a story about Mr. Stringfellow and make sure it has a splendid ending. Bye. See you next time. Bye.
Stretch. Spring. And splash.
Two new stars appear in Words and Pictures next Monday, Stan Start and Ernest Last on BBC Two at 9:15.